Hari Om girls, I welcome you all to the last topic of the data mining and data warehousing course. In the fifth module, we have covered all these topics like what do you mean by decision tree, what is the construction principle for the decision tree construction, what do you mean by best split, how do we determine the best splitting attribute and the best splitting criteria. Then we also talked about the different types of mining like what is web mining, spatial, temporal data mining, etc. In this video, we are going to talk about the decision tree construction algorithms like ID3, C4.5, CART and CHAID. A number of algorithms for constructing the decision trees have been proposed over the years. All these algorithms more or less follow the principles discussed earlier, right? Whatever the principle we have discussed for the construction of decision tree, the same principle is used or followed in these algorithms also. But these algorithms differ among themselves in the methods employed for selecting the splitting attribute and the splitting condition, right? So we have these four algorithms. All these four algorithms differ among themselves. How they differ? In the methods employed for selecting splitting attribute and the splitting criteria. So what kind of evaluation measure is used for selecting the splitting attribute and the splitting criteria? Based on that, they differ. We are going to study these four major methods of decision tree construction. And if you see these algorithms, some of these algorithms can handle only memory resident data, and the other algorithms can handle the the data which are available in the secondary storage devices also. What I mean here is the entire sample size or the training data must be available in the primary memory, right? But some of the other algorithms can handle both the data that is available in the memory as well as in the secondary storage device. For example, suppose imagine if the primary memory size is 64 KB, then some of the decision tree algorithms can handle the training data which is only 64 KB, maximum 64 KB, because the memory size is 64 KB. Whereas the other algorithms can handle the training data which are more than 64 KB. So what you will do? Only 64 KB will be available in the primary memory and the rest of the data, training data, will be available in the secondary storage device. That is how they differ. So only in these ideas or the concepts the decision tree construction algorithms differ. So let us talk about the ID3, and here in this video we are not going to talk about what is the algorithm actually. We are going to just talk about the characteristics or the features of the decision tree construction algorithms. Just the features, right? That is what we are going to discuss here. We are not going to talk about the algorithm or the steps or the functions that are used in the algorithm. We have already seen the basic decision tree construction principle is also followed in all these four algorithms. Okay, so we are going to just talk about the basic characteristics of these algorithms. The first one is ID3. ID3 is nothing but iterative dichotomizer version 3, and it was developed in 1986 by Ross Kinlan. And information gain is the evaluation measure used in ID3. And the ID3 decision tree algorithm can construct multi-way tree. That is, For each node, the categorical attribute or the categorical feature or the categorical attribute that yields the largest information gain will be determined. Okay, so that means it can handle categorical attribute and it can construct multi-way tree also. And not only that, the trees are grown to their maximum size, because we are not going to use pruning here, but even then some of the ID3 algorithms uses pruning phase also, but in general it does not use pruning. It will grow the trees to their maximum size. And this algorithm is considered as a very simple decision tree algorithm, and it builds a decision tree for the given data in a top-down fashion. So it starts from the root node and it will start growing the tree. And finding the leaf nodes enables test data to be pruned, reducing the number of tests, right? So it finds the leaf node and checks whether it is homogeneous, and if not, it will go for removing some branches or the nodes so that the number of tests can be reduced. And the ID3 algorithm uses the greedy search approach, and it builds the fastest and a short tree. Another decision tree construction algorithm is C4.5, and C4.5 is actually the successor of ID3, right? So the advanced version of ID3 we can say. It can handle both continuous and discrete attributes. Both the attributes can be handled by this algorithm, and this algorithm converts the trained trees. Trained trees, what I mean here is the output of the ID3 algorithm. So if you have output of the ID3 algorithm, that can be given to C4.5 algorithm, and it will convert the tree into if-then rules. If-then rules are nothing but the classification rules. We had seen in our previous video, if you have a tree, what can be the classification rules or how the classification rules can be derived from the decision tree. We discussed this in our previous video. And here pruning is done, whereas in ID3 no pruning, but here pruning is done by removing a rule's precondition if the accuracy of the rule improves without it. Okay. So what it will do, it will remove the precondition of the rule, right? So if you have any classification rule, before that rule is derived, if you have any precondition, that will be removed and it will try to improve the accuracy, and if the accuracy is improved, obviously that particular branch can be removed from the decision tree. And information gain or the gain ratio is the evaluation measure in C4.5. And very interesting, or the advantage of C4.5, it allows the attribute values to be marked with question mark. That is, generally in the training data, if any data is missing, automatically the training data will add a question mark in that particular cell, right? So the ID3 algorithm cannot handle the missing values, but here C4.5 can handle the missing values also. So here the missing attribute values are not used in gain and entropy. So even though if you have missing values, those missing values will be ignored by the algorithm itself, and it can calculate gain and entropy value by avoiding or by excluding the missing values. But this is not possible with ID3. ID3 expects the training data without missing values. It should not have any missing values in the training data. But even if it has missing values, here in C4.5 it can handle the data. And in C4.5, once the decision tree is created, it attempts to remove branches that do not help in classification process by replacing them with the leaf nodes, which you call as pruning. So this is what the point told here: removing a rule's precondition if the accuracy of the rule improves without it. So that is what is specified here, explained here. It attempts to remove branches and if that branch does not help in classification process, this branch will be removed and it will be replaced with the leaf node. We had already discussed in our construction principle what do you mean by pruning and how pruning helps in reducing the size of the tree. All those points we discussed in our previous video. Now here in the C4.5, the decision tree grows using depth first strategy, whereas the ID3 uses greedy search algorithm or greedy search method, but here it uses depth first strategy. And in the C4.5, overfitting happens when the algorithm model picks up data with uncommon characteristics. So if you have any attribute which is not having the common characteristics, then obviously overfitting problem may occur in the decision tree. So that is why when you use C4.5, the training data need to be pre-processed, right? The training data need to be pre-processed, where you have to decide whether all the attributes have some common characteristics. Then the third decision tree construction algorithm is CART. CART is nothing but classification and regression trees, and this is also similar to C4.5, but it differs in that it supports numerical target variables and does not compute rule sets, right? So it differs in this particular point. C4.5 does not support numerical target variables and it computes the rule sets, but here it supports numerical target variables but it does not compute rule sets. Okay, and the CART algorithm uses either Gini or any other general function, something like Towai criteria. That function can also be used for the classification process or the decision tree construction process. The CART algorithm actually constructs only binary trees. It constructs binary trees according to a function of a single attribute. So it takes each single attribute and whatever be the number of values of that particular attribute domain, it will try to construct the binary tree. And here, as I told you, the splits are selected using Towing criteria or Gini index, right? So that is what is told here. These are the two values that are used as the evaluation measure in CART. So it uses Towing criteria or Gini index, and the generated tree, right? Whatever tree you are going to generate with the Gini index or the Towing criteria, these are used for selecting the best splitting attribute and the best splitting criteria. So using this, you will generate a tree, and this tree is pruned by cost complexity pruning. Cost complexity pruning is nothing but a pruning process. Here what it will do, it will be generating a series of trees, right? It will be generating series of trees and it will calculate the error rate of all these trees, right? Say for example, it will be generating n number of trees and the error rate of all these trees will be calculated, and whichever tree is having the smallest error, that tree can be considered as the best tree. That is what you call as cost complexity pruning. And very important feature of CART is it is not only used for classification tree, but it is also used for generating the regression tree. Regression trees are trees where their leaves predict a real number and it is not going to say a class value. So in case of regression, CART looks for splits that minimize the prediction, which uses the Gini index. So if it is classification tree, then it will be using the Towing criteria, but if it is regression tree, it will be using the Gini index as the evaluation measure. And CART can handle both numerical as well as categorical attributes, and the CART algorithm will itself identify the most significant variables and eliminate non-significant ones, right? So if you have around 6-7 attributes, the CART algorithm will first check what are the significant attributes and what are the non-significant attributes. So automatically, right, so the pre-processing is not required in the CART algorithm. The analyst need not say which are the significant variables, which are non-significant variables. Instead, the algorithm itself can identify which are the most significant variables and which are not by tracing the entire training data. That is one of the biggest advantage of CART algorithm. And the CART algorithm can easily handle outliers, right? So any data point which is completely deviating from the data set is what you call as outlier. So that can be easily handled by the CART algorithm. So these are some of the basic characteristics of ID3, C4.5 and CART, which is put in the what you call as a table, right? Actually this was collected from one of the conference paper published. So you can just go through all the points that we discussed, like what type of attributes can be handled by this algorithm, whether they can handle the missing values, whether it is having pruning strategy, whether it can handle outliers, and what is the splitting criteria measure that is used. That is what is specified here in this table. You can just go through this. Now the last decision tree construction algorithm is nothing but CHAID. CHAID is nothing but chi-square automatic interaction detection, and this is also a decision tree technique, and it was actually developed by Gordon B. Kaas, and it was published in 1980. And in your textbook it is also said like it was it was actually a derivative of automatic interaction detection, which was proposed by Hartigan in 1975. So Mr. Hartigan has proposed automatic interaction and detection in 1975, and the AID was used as the base for the CHAID technique, which was developed by Gordon B. Kaas in 1980. Now this particular algorithm actually attempts to stop growing the tree before overfitting occurs, right? So it will stop growing the tree before overfitting occurs. So when we discussed the construction principle of the decision tree, we had seen the overfitting problem can be avoided in between, right, during the construction of the decision tree, or the other way is after constructing or the fully grown tree. After you have the fully grown tree, we can overcome the overfitting problem. So the pruning process is done to avoid the overfitting problem. So pruning process can be done in between, right? So while growing the tree itself, you can do the pruning process, or develop the fully grown tree, then you can apply the pruning process. So but CHAID will stop growing the tree before overfitting occurs. That means it will do the pruning process before the tree is completely grown, so that we can say it can avoid pruning phase since it stopped growing the tree before overfitting occurs. And in CHAID, the number of subsets in a partition can range from 2, that means it can have binary tree or it can have multi-way trees also. That is why it says the number of subsets in a attribute partition can range from 2 subsets to number of distinct values of the splitting attribute. And the best splitting attribute is selected based on chi-square test, and the attribute with smallest p value will be selected for splitting, and the stopping criterion here is the p value from this chi-square test. And the advantage of shade is that its output is highly visual and easy to interpret. The output of shade algorithm gives you the very what we can say, the better understandable decision tree. And since it uses multi-way splits also, it needs large sample size. So by default it goes for multi-way split, so it needs a larger sample size for the effective and the efficient decision tree, right? So these are the different decision tree construction algorithms in the module 5. So with that topic we are completing the course data mining and data warehousing. Thank you.